Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of B is for Build. Normally when I film these introductions, I film them before we do all the work and I kind of guess at how much work we're going to get done. Today's episode is a little bit different. It's a very much a good news, bad news type situation, but it's formatted in the way that I'd like to have it. Good news for me, bad news for the GTR, but we can fix cars. And science only goes so far, I guess. That's the limitation there. So the game plan in this episode was to get the R34 body onto the R35, and we just didn't quite get there, but we got a lot of great progress done. Stay tuned. Before we get too far into the work, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Mech Arena. All right, guys, Mech Arena sent us this awesome starter kit box thing. Help me dive into it, and let's take a look at what they gave us. Hey, 500-piece puzzle. Oscar, I think your kid's old enough to figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Kyle, we'll check
pieces.
this. Don't eat the pieces, Oscar. The art of Mech Arena. Oh, yeah, this art book is really cool. Check this out. Got an art book. It's got all the art and original designs from the game, showing us different mechs. How they came up with the graphics. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Got a shirt in there. Who's gonna get the white shirt, guys? We're gonna kill it in one day in the shop,
Yeah,
but...
not me. Look at my hands.
Alright, Kyle, you got a shirt? Looks like there's a Mech Arena coaster we can keep here at the shop house. That's pretty cool. And in here, I think... Oh, sticker? Oscar loves the stickers. Got a nice sticker.
Yeah.
And this is some augmented reality stuff. So we got these cards, and when I scan my phone over the card, you guys can see the character show up over the card. Yeah, each one has its own little 3D holographic design in augmented reality. And also got a mech poster that you can scan and see the mech in 3D on the phone screen, which is really cool. And when we scan the arena, you can see Oscar's actually in the Mech Arena. Hey, and last but not least, we got this guy. So what is Mech Arena? Well, it's a new third-person mech shooter, and it's built from the ground up to promote competitive mobile play, which I love. It's free to play, offers multiple fast-paced game modes, and focuses on short, high-intensity team PvP. In Mech Arena, you take control of a mech to run and gun your way through real-time 5-on-5 PvP matches. I've actually been playing Mech Arena a lot lately, and here's some of my favorite mechs. First, you have Panther, which has a really high energy capacity, meaning it can carry really powerful weapons, including like long-arm sniper rifles and the railgun. Its ability is a stasis barrier, and it puts down an invincible wall that blocks the enemy bullets and is really good for defense. Next, you got Killshot. It's the fastest mech in the game, so you can get around the arena really fast and try to dodge enemy shots, and its ability is the melee dash that just smashes people. If that melee dash hits an enemy mech, it deals massive damage. And I really like Guardian. This mech is all about tearing down defenses and blowing the enemy away. It can carry super heavy weapons, and its ability is a real killer. It can shut down enemy abilities like shields or stuns, and it forces the enemy to completely reload their weapons, which is a huge advantage. And a really cool thing about all these mechs is you can change and design different skins for each one of the mechs to customize it your way. Mech Arena also has some awesome in-game events, as well as a really great login rewards program, which you definitely don't want to miss out on. And it's completely free to play on Android and iOS right now. You can use my link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen to get 1 black carbon skin, 300 A coins, and 50,000 credits to help kickstart your game. And if you're quick, you can add me to friends in game under the username B is for Build, and we can play some matches together. Huge thanks to Mech Arena for sponsoring this episode. It is truthfully a very fun game, so make sure to go check it out. Again, link is in the description. All right, let's get back to work. Oscar's got the rails cut really nicely, so this is what we're trying to do is you know, well, he removed the silver part like we talked about before, but we wanted to talk this morning about how much of this we want to take off. We're gonna make it like a channel. It's gonna have like a U channel, so we're gonna cut it at the pinch weld on the bottom there, leaving a lot of that bottom pinch weld, but taking out the center section so it'll all be hollow, and we could put a reinforcement frame rail, a big heavy-duty piece of steel that runs the whole length of the car, and we'll be able to weld it to both pieces. We'll weld it to this outside like frame rail, body of the car, and then the internal part of the car as well. So that's really solid. Oscar's going to do that cut a little bit later. We're moving on to the rear window glass. Rear window glass is super sketchy. We cannot break this. If we break this, we're going to have to try and remake it out of plastic because these are discontinued and you just literally can't get them anymore. We're not the most experienced window glass removers in the world, but we've done this quite a lot, and I think we've got a strategy that I'm feeling pretty comfortable with. There's this trim all the way around here, and right here there's a seam. So we're going to try and get a little tool in here and pry this apart right at the seam and pull this trim off. That should then allow us to get our little tool in there, like our little sawing tool, and we'll saw all the way around and the glass should come out. And then what we'll do is we'll just order a replacement like universal window trim off of eBay, and we should be good to go. So that's what we're going to go ahead and try and do now. Big success. The rear glass is out and in one piece, which is the important part. So originally I thought we would try and peel the molding back, but we couldn't because it's like really glued in here. Here's like a remnant of it, and it was really glued in here to the windshield glue, like especially around areas like this. So we snuck in above it and then just cut right through it. So we can, but we also found out online we can order new molding. So that's good. We'll have all fresh molding. It's actually really, really good because up here you can see when they painted, sorry if the camera would focus, when they painted the molding, and I really wanted to replace that and clean that all up so it looks really nice. So all this old molding will come off. We'll replace it with brand new OEM molding. So now we're going to move over into the front. It also has a weird trim piece, but it also can be ordered online. So we'll probably just try the same thing. We'll pull it out. If we can't pull it out, we'll cut it out. Windshield out in one piece. We had to pretty badly damage the trim, so that'll get repaired. So you can see that they didn't do a great masking job based on all the red paint on here, and then that paint, you know, stuck to the trim, so as we pull it off, it pulls all that red paint off of there. Not a big deal. We were going to respray all this stuff anyways, but just, you know, when you're doing your own jobs at home, you're going to want to make sure that you sand this a lot better and then get your masking tape under that molding so they're not kind of connected, because the plastic will move and your paint will not, and that's how you get all this ugly chipping and stuff around here. Next step is going to be cutting out a lot of this rear deck, the rear shelf, to make room for our strut towers. Their strut tower is right there, and you know, we still have ours on the other car, and we don't really know where it's all going to land, but we know we can get rid of a lot of this stuff, so we're going to cut this out. We're going to try and keep it as whole as we possibly can in case we get the opportunity to slide it back in there, kind of weld it back in there and put the cover piece over it, make it look really nice if we can get it back in, which I think we will be able to, but for now it's got to go out. Oscar just got done cutting out the back support here, so that's all that back decking is gone. We wanted to leave the trunk hinges because these can be actually really hard to fabricate in after the fact. So we're going to leave these here as long as we can and try and fit everything up while we can, and hopefully our new strut towers will land right about there. So we're getting really close to being able to try and test fit the next car. We got to go ahead and finish out cutting this, channeling it out by cutting that bottom edge off and starting to make the trim on the R35 chassis. On the R35 chassis, we have to make a massive cut. All of this has to go. This has always been the plan, just so you guys know. Since we spec'd this out, it's always been the plan, but it's going to seem very drastic. So we're going to cut after this pinch weld here, back here, cut all of this stuff out through here, and then we're going to buy some steel, some really nice thick rectangle steel that will set inside here to be the new reinforcement of a frame rail, and then we'll be able to tie that into this body area here, and we can also tie that into the R34's red exact same like kick panel, whatever you want to call it, frame rail, when it gets fitted in there. So lots of cutting to do. I hear the sounds of progress. I just got here. Sneaking up on the Oscar. How goes it?
Cutting stuff up.
All right, really good. Oscar just said congratulations. So he already knows the news. I just got back from the doctor, got some blood drawn and stuff like that. So I don't know if I said this earlier, but it was like kind of like this whole thing is like going down a bunch of steps. And for a few steps, I got bad news on each one. And I just knew I needed one step to come back with good news. And I'm considering that this step. So they're gonna cut a kid-sized football chunk out of my back. It's gonna be, I think, 12 centimeters, so that's like over 5 inches.
That's a big piece.
The long way,
yeah.
and it's a big circle, and the big circle is for the cancer, and the rest of it is to make it like a football, so they can like close the skin together and zip it up. And they're gonna go take all the fat away too, which is weird. So I'm gonna be like less fat on one side, and then
tell them to even it out.
Yeah, even it out. And then with how much money these guys cost and the anesthesia, I don't think I want to do that. I've got the bill for that once too. The anesthesiologist is like $800 every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy how expensive.
Yeah.
It is.
So once that's done, there's an optional surgery to test to find the nearest lymph node to where the skin cancer was, and to take it out, to test it. And I opted to do that. So they're going to send some radiation through my body, find the nearest lymph node, and they'll cut that out and they'll test it. There's a 75% chance that thing is clean and there's nothing to worry about. And then, we just monitor and stuff like that. If it doesn't come back clean, then there's a lot more treatments and options. There's like a whole handful of them. We could take all the lymph nodes around there. We could cut them all out. That's not that's not one they like to do anymore. It's kind of old school. They can treat them with medicine. There's medicine that kills melanoma now, so they could treat them with that. Or some people just monitor them. They just watch them to see if they turn back.
Keep coming back.
So there's a lot of options, and I feel really happy. So just busting in on Oscar here, and now let's talk about. I'm very happy. Thank you guys all. I know I've said this before, but thank you so much for all the well wishes and the support and just everything being on our side. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. But let's look at some car stuff here. The cutting looks like it's going really good.
Yeah, look at the other side.
I'm pretty sure Oscar could have cut this whole thing out of my back. I mean, I know he's talented enough, but just the cutoff wheel is a little too big of a tool. Wow, that looks cool, man. This looks really cool. So that's past that pinch weld. It's going all the way in through there.
We got some hammering out to do and some buildup of heavier material just to get a good strong side, but
yeah, that heavy material that we're going to run right through there.
Yeah,
and then we'll box the other one on. Oh, and then come up.
Yeah, because that way we can tie this piece into that piece and just make everything twice as rigid.
I like it. Yep. Good idea. Yeah, this came out great. You're doing a great job. Dude, this is awesome. This looks really cool. This looks a lot better than I thought it kind of would, as far as when you cut the whole frame rail off of a car. This is something that we never have done before. You can see he got as far back as that's the rear subframe right there. So we had to kind of stop right there.
I couldn't go as far on that end than I could everywhere else, but
yeah, but we can work around that. That's very easy to work around because you just take a little off the side of the other car. So, well, looks like you were doing a great job. And I'm going to selfishly say this looks like a one-person job. And I'm going to get the hell out of here. Sorry, guys. I haven't been around as much. I'm going to go celebrate. I can't help but not. I just feel so happy. I'm gonna go have lunch with Chelsea, and then who knows what we'll do. But yes, great news all around. You're doing a great job, Oscar. I will catch up with you tomorrow. Chelsea and I decided to go celebrate at a plastic wrapped casino here. We hit up the casino kind of north of us. We got a really great dinner, which is why I love to come here. And now we're playing some Lord of the Rings slots. Not being an ex-professional poker player, I'm not like in love with slots, but you know, baby wants 6 lemons. Oh, she got 3 rings. I'll be right back. Turns out 3 rings was a scam. It did not go well for any of us, so Chelsea wanted to change a venue, and I cannot complain. We got on better machines now, and our luck is sure to change. So the guys called me a little bit earlier this evening and let me know that we got a pretty large problem on the GTR with some geometry, and it's time for drastic measures. I'm down for drastic measures. I think we're gonna be strapping the Raptor to a GTR and seeing what happens. See you guys tomorrow. Back at the shop, and we got the R35 outside, and we got some kind of bad news that we've uncovered. So you can see Oscar's cut all the way around and did the cutting that we needed to have done on the side pieces and all that good stuff. And we were going through to replace some of the control arms down here to get stuff straightened out, and we ran into a situation where we saw that this bushing right here is pushed a little too far forward. That's from the wreck, that's from the impact, and things are kind of shifted forward a little bit. So, we don't have a frame straightener here, but we've had really good luck with the Ford F-150 Raptor frame straightener, meaning a big ass chain that goes to the truck, and the truck is going to pull from a very specific spot. Chain runs to this toe strap right here, which is going to pull on kind of the damaged part of the subframe, and we're not trying to bend anything here. We're not trying to like bend or tweak anything out here. We're just trying to shift the subframe within its bushing to get it kind of back to center. We're just trying to recenter it, and if it recenters nicely, we may be able to get access to that bolt, and we'll be in business. Wah, wah, wah. The pulling did not work. The subframe has a few hard mounts and a few bushings, and we think the hard mounts are bent. So we're out of options. All right, we're in the shop, and as you can see, the guys made great progress. Obviously, this is the transaxle and the rear subframe. That was the first step of pulling before we could cut anything, and we think we've discovered some good news. We did think we were gonna have to just lop all of this stuff off here in the back, but we got all of these points exposed, the mounting points for the subframe. We did measuring on them from side to side and the subframe from side to side. They look square. They actually look good. So it would be a little too soon to decide that we need to lop this whole thing off. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to make some smaller cuts and removals and test fit the subframe, and I think we're going to be able to get this back on here without tube framing the whole rear end. But that is for the next episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode. It was a very long one because we definitely ran into some trouble, but we're thinking that we're going to get ourselves out of it without too much insanity. At least that's the hope. We don't know. In the next episode, we'll have a subframe back in this car, and you will see it outside with an R34 body on top of it. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to check out bsforbuild.com if you want some merch. We'll see you soon. Peace! Come on.